Hello everyone and welcome back to Sharp Cuts. My name is Garrett May alongside Josh Nickel. As always, welcome back to the show, my boys. We've got a few returning guests today, Josh, and I need you to introduce them because you keep pulling out guests out of the wazoo and bringing back. So why don't you really do them justice for having the tag? Give them your best intro, Josh, because I've been carrying the show this entire time.
Now, introducing from the Aurora Storm, he lost to my Leaside team in pre-quarters at Nationals in his 18th year. Now he's at Windsor and he's on the coaching staff. Please welcome to the show, Nolan Langley.
I mean, great hype, but way to bury the guy with the losses.
That's the biggest backhanded compliment ever right there.
Okay, now do Pierce.
Thank you.
Gary, you might ask how we did. We lost our next match, but at least we beat Storm that year. And Pierce, Gary, get this.
You said his name, though. You didn't do the intro. You blew it.
No, we got to give a little cliffhanger here. He's joining us fresh off an award. He won a Chatham Kent Award, and our listeners are probably perking up. No matter what, you have a reaction to Chatham Kent. You either love them or hate them. No one's neutral on the Chatham Kent volleyball program, and Pierce proudly takes an award. He's on the Summer Next Gen team. Welcome back to the show, Pierce Johnson.
Having me back.
So, how do you guys feel about Chatham?
Yeah.
Okay.
The long drive to get there.
Yeah, I'm pretty neutral on them, Josh. So I don't know what you're starting the show lying.
Was Chatham
to
Kent not good when you were playing high school ball, Garrett? They were always in.
They were neutral, Josh. Okay, I'm sitting on the fence
you're the
for
neutral
once.
guy.
All right, but you know what? Enough about this nonsense. Okay, welcome back to the show, my boys. We got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of housekeeping, Josh, at the beginning of the episode to cover, and so let's jump right into it. First of all, we have a few comments, so thank you for commenters. I mean, it's always a massive surprise when we get comments because we're used to getting absolutely zero. So from a few episodes back, because it's been a while since I've been checking in, but we were talking about the OUA versus the Eastern Division in the Canadian volleyball, and Josh Tamukas said, last OUA's men U Sport champs were Ottawa when they had a team back in the 67-68 season. So that, I mean, nobody brought that up, but that's an absolute burial for the OUA on the men's side. Josh, do you have a rebuttal?
The year associates us with the Toronto Maple Leafs, which has got to be one of the greatest droughts in all of professional sports. So we rank right up there with the Toronto Maple Leafs for perspective there, Garrett. That's pretty bad.
Way to turn it around, Josh. Way to absolutely turn it around. Love it. We also had a comment from Paul P., who said, dial up internet for this episode, inform the guests about internet speed as it's frustrating for listeners. And I mean, Paul, absolute respect to the sharp cut there on that one. If you're bringing garbage internet to this show, you deserve to get mocked. And so thank you so much for that.
For sure. And Paul's a loyal listener, so he for sure can speak up on that. Like, if he's annoyed, then like the listeners are annoyed. He speaks for everybody.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Josh. At least you're treating our listeners with respect for once, so appreciate that. And as well,
Garrett,
finally, we have to cover
the
this.
script of what we're doing right now. I just introduced the guest, I fired them up, and now you go over the show notes of when they weren't on the show. So they're going to go like 3-4 minutes without talking right now.
Yeah, you got to be respectful to the listeners, not the guests. Forget the guests. They can sit there and listen because these guys maybe didn't know this, but last episode we made a joke and congratulated prematurely. Sorry?
I'm aware of that. On the last episode, wait, sorry, I may have interrupted you a little early there. After we were on, yeah, no, I'm gonna run with it though. I'm gonna run with it. After we were on last time, we got some shade thrown at us for picking the clowns of the week and from you two. Yeah, I see you looking around there, Josh. Nolan doesn't know because he doesn't listen to the show.
Garrett doesn't remember. I definitely listened. They doubled up, Garrett. Remember how they picked the same dude for both player and clown?
And we gave them shade mid-episode or after the episode?
No, in an episode we weren't even, so we couldn't even defend ourselves.
Oh, yeah, we absolutely did that.
And here we are now.
And what do you have to say for yourselves?
I don't even know what shade was thrown. I don't know what was thrown. What was said?
Well,
Nolan,
you're saying...
listen. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Nolan,
like, okay, no, don't explain it to him, because if he's not going to listen to the show, then, like, what is even the point here, okay? So, absolute deserved burial for that. So, yes, thank you for calling us out, for calling you out, but, I mean, we'll let the fans decide. Comment down below, is it gutless to pick the same person for Clown of the Week and Player of the Week? I mean, we think yes, because, I mean, we run the show and we got to pick a new Clown of the Week and Player of the Week every single week. So, to double up on your only appearance is a bit lame. So, we'll see if they do it again this episode. But anyways.
I knew you were going to ask us to come back on.
You knew that?
Yeah.
I mean, a bit presumptive, don't you think, about the performance?
I thought we did a great job.
Okay, great. Well, you've got 69 views on YouTube. So, I mean, hit that like button, subscribe. Anyways, Josh, I was about to praise us before I was rudely interrupted by our guest because we deserve praise. Because last episode, not the last episode with these guys, last episode, we made a joke and said, hey, congrats to our Canadian women's team for a big win at their upcoming Elites tournament. We didn't know the result. And they did win, Josh, so congrats to Mel and Sarah on a big win. I mean, we're celebrating over here for two reasons. One, because Canada gets a win, but two, because, Josh, we were right. We called it. Let's go, my boys. I mean, anything to say. Can we just sing our praises for a second here?
It was close, Garrett. I mean, it's a roller coaster cheering for any teams in the Elite 16. What a battle it was. I mean, they go, 2-1 in pool play. They lose a tough one, and then they just, ride the wave, get it going. All the way to the finals, going into World Championships. I didn't even know
that they won until I checked the comments, and Derek Dedman commented and said, did you guys premonition and Mel and Sarah win? Impressive. And Derek, you're right, we absolutely did. So we are, the best volleyball podcast in the world. We have to be. Hit that comment button, subscribe. How do you even do that? All right, so that's it for comments, Josh. We're going to quickly go through results because you're right, our guests are getting bored. So like we mentioned, Mel and Sarah get the big win in Latvia. So congrats to them, a huge win. We'll probably touch on that a little bit later as well. And Canada, the Volleyball Nations League indoors is going on. So we have a few results. They're probably going to be more by the time you're listening or watching to this. But the women go 2-2, and the men go 0-1 in their first match. That's what we know so far. So check out more to see if anything else has happened. Maybe something interesting happened. Josh, we're going to make a call. The men go 3-1.
Pierce, who do they play?
France tomorrow.
No, that's wrong.
See, that's why.
2-2, 1-3, 0-4.
France is in the other pool.
Okay, we don't know who they play, and we don't really know what they're going to go. So okay. I'll
Pierce
say 2-2.
Pierce is wrong. France is in our pool.
Pierce is wrong.
Okay.
And we played them on Friday.
Okay.
And then we play Italy.
Well, we played them on Friday because Friday has passed.
We played them on Friday, and we won in 4.
Absolutely, we did. Congrats to the man on the big win.
We won in 4. And Stephen Marr hits for 325.
That's a really specific prediction because if he hits for 324, you're wrong.
It's true.
How many kills?
14.
Yeah, all right. What? Okay, cool. Big win for Canada against France. France, deal with it. You just, figure it out. Okay, so that's the results. We've already premonitioned a few other results. So, if that is also true, we're time travelers, obviously. But that's it. Anything else you wanted to cover, Josh? Results, comments? I think I've covered it all.
I like Nolan's confidence. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, great. Thanks, Josh. Glad for your support for Team Canada. Gosh.
Definitely not if you watch the Germany game either. You have to connect on a set to win a game.
Yikes, that is a chirp. And save it for Clown of the Week. But
did we have enough Trinity Western guys on the floor to beat Germany?
No, we clearly didn't. We need more Trinity guys.
We need all of them.
Yeah. What are we doing if we don't just get just take them all?
Throw them all out there. They have the most chemistry,
absolutely. And a few other things on their side that we won't get into. But all right, moving on. So first topic of the day, before we get into everybody's favorite segment, we're just going to chat a little bit because this topic came up actually, Josh, in volleyball circles. So my fiance, she plays in a beach volleyball league and with actual volleyball fans, Josh, and she did not shout out the podcast. Unbelievable backstab by the person that I live with. So let me just deal with that internally, emotionally. So we just got to establish that. But anyways, she was saying that these people all love to watch indoor women's as their favorite type of volleyball to watch, the most exciting. So it prompted the question in my mind, well, what is the most exciting type of volleyball to watch? Now, there's 6 options. There may be more. You maybe tell me more, Josh, but I'm going to go with 6 options. So, between the 4 of us, I feel like we can decide this for sure, absolute certain. Is it men's beach volleyball, men's indoor volleyball, women's beach volleyball, women's indoor volleyball, sitting men's volleyball, or women's sitting volleyball? So, let's have at it. Which is the most exciting volleyball to watch?
It's gotta depend on like the rallies or what you're looking for, right? Because men's game is just air, but they're big plays. If you like the showtime, it's like an all-star game basically. But like women's is like actually like technically like sound, and the rallies are long, so it's more enjoyable to the fans, I think. But overall, in volleyball, it's just not really a spectator sport. So I think I gotta go to the beach just because now you're watching outside, you're having a good time. You can have some beers probably while you're there. So I think I gotta go to the beach, but I gotta lean towards the women's beach.
Okay.
Are we in person or are we on TV, Garrett? That's another like variable we have to measure here.
Yeah, what an absolutely brutal question, because to watch it on TV, you've got to get the Volleyball World subscription, and you know how I feel about that. So, I mean, let's just say both all-encompassing at this point. Why would it make a difference, Josh? You got to be all technical with this fence sitter.
No, I think if we're talking, if you're in person, nobody can deny beach volleyball, I think, is the most entertaining. Like, even indoor at a high level, I get so bored, Garrett, about there's a technical timeout. Then I'm up 19-17, so you call a timeout, but then you come back and tie at 21, so then I call a timeout. And there's just so many stoppages late in the set that make it boring. Where if it's on TV and there's replays and they have the camera swinging in on the baseline, I think like the indoor production is pretty good, where I could get on board with like maybe men's indoor being, if I could only watch one type of volleyball for the rest of my life, maybe men's indoor. But if it's in person, nothing beats like the festival feel of a good beach tournament.
So, like in the rain too, like you choose to watch that in the rain or the scalding heat. You're on that train as well.
In the rain, on a plane, in a train.
Nice.
You can rhyme.
In Vancouver, in Calgary. Oh wait, it's canceled. In Ontario, in
Brutal.
Where we're going.
Yeah, way to throw some shade there, Josh, while making
I'm not
your
upset.
point. I mean, you are very biased because you are the Beach Next Gen men's coach. So you watch a lot of men's beach. So if you were getting bored by beach volleyball, that would be a bit crazy. So you are a bit biased. But, I mean, counter argument, beach, there's really not that much going on in beach. Like, there's very few surprises. There's not a lot of different things going on. Oh, that person passed it? Well, they're going to get set probably. Oh, maybe they go on two. Whoa. Like, whoa. You know, like, there's not a lot of different things going on. I think that was the argument for some of these recreational volleyball fans is like, beach is boring. It's the same thing every single time. Whereas the women's indoor has a lot more longer rallies, a lot more spectacular digs, a lot more different opportunities for combos as well, because when the rallies go on longer, you get free balls. You're not guaranteed to put it away. Run that combo, get something interesting going to score a point. I'm not sure if I'm ready to make a decision yet, but I think that argument is well made.
My vote goes to women's indoor.
You're agreeing with these fans.
Beach?
Yeah, with women's indoor. That is where more my vote goes. I find it the most exciting. I've always been a fan of the style of play that comes into the women's game. Partially, I think it has to do with, honestly, my height, because I was never, being like the men's side is so much more physical and being about big and strong and planting balls to the floor. And that wasn't my game. My game was, thinking things through and trying to be one step ahead of everybody, and then playing good defense and stuff like that, which is more of what the women's side of the sport is like when it comes to indoor. So it plays to watch it. I'm watching it to more of a style of game that I play. So I find that more exciting. Personally.
I think if we're talking sport, Garrett, this stuff makes sense that you could get on board with women's indoor. But I don't know if you've heard, Garrett, Pierce Johnson is playing for the beach national team, and he likes to bring a little grit. So can you imagine, picture me this, Nolan, Jake McNeil versus Pierce Johnson. They're chirping back and forth. It's high flying, beach rocking, heart pounding, heart stopping, Garrett. The emotion, the conflict, the funny chirps going back and forth in a high competitive match. You got to be there to see it, Garrett.
So you're saying Pierce is playing on the beach national team? So they're just letting anybody in these days.
I don't know if you've seen him play beach, but very skilled, very passionate, Garrett. You want to get chirped, you go across the net from this guy.
Well, I support that fully. If more people chirped in beach, I would pick whatever gender is chirping more, because that is exciting.
Not that the last tournament was very good, but I would have won either way. But I won because of chirping. That was. I took the guy and I took him like a lawn chair and just put him aside.
Okay, what were you saying? Let us in on some of that action, because that would have been entertaining.
You can't say that. You can't say that on the podcast. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's NSFW, not safe for podcast language.
No, I want to keep my card in. I don't want to say that stuff in public. You know, have a record of it. So.
Yeah, no, hey, I get that. Okay, so I mean, Pierce is saying women's beach. Nolan, you're saying women's indoor. Josh, you haven't said still. You said beach, but you didn't really pick a stand.
You didn't give all the variables here. If you're just going like pie in the sky.
What do you mean all the variables, Josh? Like, what do you? Come on, just pick one. You need all the variables?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're watching volleyball on a Sunday afternoon, and it is 18 degrees Celsius, and it is slightly raining outside. Like, is that enough variables for you, bud?
Men's beach for sure.
Wow. Okay. What if it's 19 degrees Celsius? Like, does that change your pick?
Anything above 12, I think I'll go to the beach. Yeah.
My goodness, dude. Okay. So, yes. Wow. That's upsetting, Josh, that it really matters that much to you. Okay, but you're watching it on TV. What does that matter then? You're at home.
The atmosphere, the sport itself, Garrett, I'll be honest, the sport itself is not entertaining enough that if like I can only watch volleyball, then eventually I'll just watch basketball or hockey. Like the sport alone it doesn't sell it for me. But if you know people involved or if you're at it in person, like there's things that stack up here where if you're just saying volleyball in general, like I have to watch Polish League Pro men, I'm going to get bored pretty quickly.
Okay, I just had a vision of Josh Nickel down in Cancun while they're at the Mexico tournament, in his full long sleeve UV ray shirt and hat, fully sunscreened up, just having a few margaritas, sitting on the court. His coaching job is done. Canada loses. It's Saturday. You're still there. Nobody's in the tournament. Just start crushing drinks early in the morning and drink all day. Now I can see why you like it, Josh, because that would be entertaining.
Do you remember what it's like to be at a tournament after you're eliminated? It is like the worst feeling ever, Gary. I didn't want to go for breakfast. I just want to go home, but you got to stay.
And you're the coach.
Yeah. Like how as a player do you wake up the next day and be like, doesn't matter what I do today. I lost. I'm out.
So
Garrett,
no one's making
it.
the pick for men's indoor. Nobody is selecting men's indoor.
Because they missed 13 serves a set.
When I said the women's indoor side, I'm actually like really specific with it to the point that like NCAA is my favorite to watch. I like watching the NCAA women's more than the international. But then when it comes to international play, then I like watching the men's side more.
Okay, you two guys over there. Okay, Pierce gets the concept. Pierce understands. He says, "Oh, you want me to pick? I don't need any other questions. I'll just pick one." He says one, makes his case. You two guys, but if it's this, but if it's that, I'm going to pick that. Like, what don't you get about this?
It's a discussion show, Gary. You're boring everyone. If we all just said, okay, men's indoor, women's beach, whatever the answer is, then we would move on. You're boring everyone.
You guys are being too nice because you're letting the other guys off the hook. But you're like, but if it's this, I like this. But if it's this, I like this. Spreading yourself damn thin instead of taking a freaking stand. If you, like, Pierce is taking a stand, nobody's calling him on it because you guys are like, well, yeah, tiptoeing around it, Josh.
If you would get more specific, like if it was like RSEQ women's, no, I'm not watching that.
Generally, all volleyball, Josh. How more specific can I get? Are you kidding me? I'll take a stand.
Are you gonna Facebook Live Maria's like games and we can watch Rec League Beach from Vancouver?
If people would watch, yes, but people aren't watching that. I mean, maybe Pierce is because he likes to watch women's beach. Is what he said. I mean, now, did you say women's beach because of the clothing?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so I'll take that as a maybe. Yeah, I mean, for me, I haven't taken a stand yet either, Josh. So, I mean, that's an immediate throwback to me, but you're missing the point here. So, yeah, I mean, I think for me, because I played beach, I can pick up a lot on beach, and I like to really get into that. When I watch games, I like to watch the men's beach personally. But if I'm judging really what I think the most entertaining volleyball is, it's women's volleyball, women's indoor, no question. No question in my mind. Because the men's indoor, I would say, is pretty exciting and fantastic, but it's way too damn fast. Like, you have no idea what's happening sometimes. When somebody gets set a shoot and it's already down, you've kind of missed the moment. Whereas the women's game, it's a little slower, which is great. They got sometimes longer rallies, which gives more time to kind of build that excitement and drama in each rally. So, I mean, it's got to be an obvious choice.
And this sport is now progressing to more back row attacking, which also adds some more excitement to it, which wasn't a thing, a while ago. So that makes it more exciting too. Brings in another aspect to the game.
So I think Nolan and I are correct. I mean, it seems like you guys don't really have any other any disagreements with that. I mean, I think we're just gonna.
Yeah, nothing beats the out of system back pipe that gets dug every time they play it.
And we're back. Our side takes it with that comment.
Yeah,
there's more back row involved. Yeah, it's just roll shots though every time.
Roll shots down. Yeah,
they're setter ball. Oh, the lib's gonna take it. High ball to the pin. Nope, just straight up in 6, and they're gonna roll it right to the other lib, and then they're in system now.
Okay, let me backtrack. There's more in-system back row setting that gets set that was not set a while ago. The out-of-system back row pipe.
8 of those balls.
The out-of-system back row pipe has always been there, but
so I won't deny that there's some nonsense, definitely in indoor that you look at, and specifically women's indoor, that is like, wow, that was brutal. But at the same time, that plays into it too. Like if everything is perfect and great, and it's either I'm getting set and pounding it in the net, or do something dumb every once in a while just to keep things interesting. I like that. I respect that. That's something unexpected, right? Whereas a lot of times in men, you see them step back to the line and rip a serve, and it's an ace or error. A lot of the time, it's like great. Like you make an error, nobody's happy. You rip an ace, it's like for a moment, but then it's over. So you're right, but I like it.
Yeah, but then every once in a while in the men's game, someone tries something crazy, like to blast the ball off hand. The guy pulls down. The ball pegs a fan in the stand 400 yards out, beams them. That's pretty exciting, I think. Yeah, then the fans are on their toes now.
So I would agree with you, fully agree with you, but a fan sitting in the stands has a very high chance of missing that encounter. Like if somebody drops their hands and a guy blasts it out, to a fan, it might look like the guy just hit it out. Like you may miss that intricacy if you're not paying super close attention.
Yeah, but also they just probably shouldn't be there then. Just learn about the game. Realize what they're doing.
You'll pay closer attention after you get hit with that ball.
Or we need better commentators at the game telling everyone, hey, he meant to do that.
True.
Going back to
yeah. Oh, we absolutely need that. So, Josh, you're telling me after the hours and hours of beach volleyball you watch, you're still surprised sometimes?
I think you have to know what to look for, especially on like the defensive play calling or like the situation they're trying to set up. But yeah, on its purest level, yeah, it's just set the straight up and down. This guy clubs it over here. Like if you're trying to like understand the game plan or what they're trying to do, that you have to kind of get mentally lost in what's happening versus just watching the physical part. The physical's not enough to entertain you. It's the game within the game, Garrett, that's really appealing to me.
All right. And nobody's going to make the case for sitting, because I've seen some sitting games and I would put those above beach games potentially. Like I've seen some sitting volleyball being
third,
played.
According
that
to the
fantastic.
guy who won Worlds, who's still wearing his beach hat. Interesting.
Which would I rather play? And which was I better at is not at all related to like what I think is more entertaining to watch.
Fair, good comment.
Like
I like how Pierce is just taking us on a tour of his house here.
Yeah.
Of his house.
His house.
Yeah, just going on a walk there. I mean, it's incredibly unprofessional, but I mean, that's kind of what we get.
Laptop time.
That's kind of what we get on this show, Josh. Is I mean, I don't know what we should expect. I mean, we have a segment called Clown of the Week, so I mean. This is the kind of professionalism we can expect.
Pierce is making his case for it this week.
Well,
do I need to explain to myself why I'm doing this?
No. Laptop dying. I mean, we appreciate it because it's better that he goes for a walk than he shuts off mid-episode and all of our faces reshuffle around the screen. I mean, I'm thankful for that. So, I mean, definitely anytime. Now,
way to find the bright side, Garrett. That's good.
You would put sitting last, Josh?
Yeah.
Really?
It's just the game is a little bit different, right? Like I think it's entertaining to see like serves get blocked and stuff, but like there's no time differential on the sets. Like it's really just like wide and fast, and like the rallies get pretty long and entertaining. It's just it turns pretty scrappy to me in a hurry versus like trying to understand tactically what they're trying to do.
Is there a lot of chirping in sitting?
I don't know. We should message Derek and figure it out.
Because they're like right face to face, like at the net. They're like right there.
Yeah.
So like it's hard to get away. Like you can't, there's not very much space to leave. Like you're right in there in the guy's grill.
I haven't watched enough of it to like really even know much about it. Like, I think that's one of the things we were talking about with the other stuff, was saying that we all have like a level of like a sense of what's happening in the sport. And although it's volleyball, it's like a completely different version of it. And I've only watched like the one game, the one year that they had the Canada men's team playing at the Nationals when I was like 17 in Calgary or something like that. So I just haven't been exposed to it that much.
That was a good year, Garrett. They made semis, I think, there. That was a good year.
Yeah. It was pre-quarter, and then we got knocked out.
I don't care at all. I really don't care. Yeah. Okay. So final tally here, and comment down below your thoughts on this matter here, because we want to hear your thoughts. We want to just get the sense for the fans as well, because maybe we're way off. So I'm saying women's indoor. Nolan is saying women's indoor. Pierce is saying women's beach was what he said. Josh still has not picked.
Men's beach. I'll go men's beach.
Men's beach. Okay, so why men's over women's, Josh? Like,
more physical style of play. I think it's more entertaining.
All right. Well,
you don't see too many block slammies in the women's game. You see a lot of digs. You see a lot of, roll shots. A lot of longer rallies that seems to really appeal to Nolan for some reason. I'd rather see somebody just go mash a ball.
So
because I can't do that. So
if you were more entertained by a different type of volleyball, you would coach that probably.
Probably. The question here, Garrett, is Sharp Cuts big enough of a platform that we could promote volleyball enough that we could like really sell the sport here? That's the big question.
Yes. Yes,
best
we are big enough.
Podcast in the world.
We're the #1 Canadian all types of volleyball podcast in the world.
So if we pick an event like Van Open or Nationals, do you think we could get like dozens and dozens of fans there to really cheer Pierce on in person?
Well, I don't know about Pierce, because I don't know the type of draw Pierce is pulling, but we could probably get 5 people.
You can get some people from Chatham to make that flight.
You could. They would to see Pierce.
Airport.
They love him there.
What was the award you got, by the way, Pierce? What was it called?
It was the James Dean Award. It's the Hall of Fame in my high school. So it's just past athletes.
Well, I mean, congrats. I mean, all you needed to do was just beg Josh to put you on the national team. And, that's probably not what it was for.
Did not beg. There's a 10 category criteria that he was scored in, Garrett.
Yeah, I know that criteria, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's nonsense, Josh. It's absolute BS, all those criteria.
Back to the issue at hand, Garrett. I think we need to make some more stars in our sport. That's what's more appealing, is you got to know the stars here. And I'll give you a perfect example in our sport right now, Garrett. The McKibben brothers, they are very good at what they do. They make videos, they make content. People know who they are. Have you checked their results? They're not actually that good. But they have a following. You ask kids who they like, I like Riley McKibben. Why? He hasn't qualified or won an FIV game, but man, does he create good contents and video? I think we should just make more volleyball players famous, Garrett. We should use our platform for good.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we're trying to do, Josh, and it's really not going well is the problem. So, I mean, thanks for calling us out like that. Gosh. I mean, maybe one Sunday we're going to go, hey, who's your favorite volleyball coach? And that's an actual question that somebody's going to ask. And somebody will say, oh, it's Josh Nickel.
No, my mind went to Ben Josephson right off the bat.
I can't finish that sentence with a straight face, Josh.
I think Nolan would say Lucas Hodgson, and I would say Benjo.
You would say Benjo.
Oh, yeah.
But he's an indoor men's coach, Josh.
You ever listen to that guy talk? Just the passion comes through so quickly that
Damn it, Josh, you are an enigma. Okay, moving on, because comment down below your thoughts. Help me out here. I mean, help Pierce out too, because Josh is honestly off. He thinks men's beach. If you think men's beach, you definitely got to comment down below and support Josh. All right, moving on. So it's time for everybody's favorite segment. I mean, we still haven't confirmed. Nobody has really confirmed or denied if they like this segment or not, but it's Players and Clowns of the Week. So let's jump into it, because we got 8 to cover. So I'll start. I'll get the ball rolling. My player of the week is pretty mediocre. So I'm going with Melissa Umana Paredes and Sarah Pavin for the big win at the, we need to celebrate that big time. We cannot get used to the fact that we have a team that is winning FIVB tournaments. We need to relish that and be like, yes, we have a women's team who is dominant and winning tournaments. That's never been the case in the history of Canadian beach volleyball, Josh. So you better be excited. I don't really hear it enough in your voice, and we need to get the volleyball fans excited about that because that is big for the sport in our country.
So our loyal listeners will remember that whenever somebody picks 2 players of the week, usually Garrett May calls them out and says, whoa, it's player of the week. And you have to pick one, Garrett. So who is your player of the week?
Oh, yeah, I'll
play
pick.
Better.
No, I'll narrow it down for sure because then I'll make the stand. It's Sarah Pavin, absolutely. I'm going to die on this hill, Josh. I mean, if you're going to make me pick one, like I would make myself pick one, it's Sarah Pavin because I don't know. And sorry, Mel, I predict Sarah carried the squad, but I don't know. That could be totally wrong, but I'm going with Sarah.
You didn't watch the game.
I didn't even watch the games, yeah.
How can you pick them for the athletes of the week?
Because they won.
In theory, no one could have shown up if you didn't watch.
No, I see they didn't get buys all the way to the end. So I know the games were at least played.
You did that much at least.
I know they were played. Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, we've been through this. I don't have a subscription to the Volleyball World thing to watch these games. And I kind of dispute just the general idea of having it. So, I mean, there it is.
They make highlights. You just fill in the good parts.
Yeah. No, I'm down for that.
Well, they're there. You should watch them.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few. That's why I'm picking Sarah. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mel. I mean, Mel, I'm sure, did a great job as well. Congrats to Mel. But yeah, Sarah, player of the week. There you go. Why, are you going to pick Mel, Josh? Is that why you asked me? Because you're like, I don't want to duplicate? So you go now, bud.
No, I'm going to go. My instincts took me to our women's team is doing pretty well at VNL, and I thought, man, it's got to be Kira. Kira's our best player. She carries the load. She's the one the other team game plans for the most. But Garrett, I'm happy to say that I think Alexa Gray has kind of filled it where now it's not just Kira alone, where Alexa's putting up big numbers. I checked the stats here, averaging 14 points a match. She had 2 games where she had 19 points. She's hitting 479 right now. So again, it's not just Kira Van Ryk who's carrying the team. We got like a dual threat here. We got more athletes coming up. Alexa Gray is my player of the week.
I mean, congrats, Alexa, but immediate chirp directed at Josh. You just said men's beach is your most exciting, and you go to women's indoor for your player of the week. So how dare you?
That shows how good her performance was that she could outduel all the men this week.
Congrats, Alexa Gray. I mean, I noticed that as well. She's been doing well. But Josh, don't say, oh, she's doing it by herself. You got the captain, Jen Cross, on there pulling her weight as well, okay? Birchmount Park alumni doing work out there for Team Canada. Don't you leave her off that list. Don't tell her I said that, though. So, I mean,
one of my favorite all-time chirps on this show is when we had Jen, and I mentioned she was the team captain, and Garrett, not jokingly, not like just to be funny, guy was like, what? Are you serious? Jen is the captain? So that just shows you your level of respect for Jen Cross as a volleyball player.
Well, to her face, it's low, but not to her face, it's high. So, I mean, truly somewhere in the middle. Congrats, Alexa. Guys, any thoughts on that pick?
Hey, I didn't watch the game, but
what? You said it was your favorite type of volleyball.
I work. They were playing at the time that I was working.
Right. So, yeah. No. Me too. Me too, Pierce. Yeah.
There's this thing, YouTube, and you type in the names of the game you want, and then there's these cool 10-minute clips of everything cool that happened in the whole game, and then you can watch it all. It's a crazy concept. Yeah. I know.
It's called You.
You're getting mad that people don't listen to the podcast, but you're not even watching these 10-minute clips to watch these people play. There's got to be something there. Like,
hold on, you don't even know how many 10-minute clips I've been watching. Okay, it is numerous, but watching a full match and paying Volleyball World is impossible. So I bet I've watched more on YouTube than Josh has. There you go.
Well, that's because I have a VolleyMetrics login. But.
You have no VolleyMetrics login?
No, I have a VolleyMetrics login. That's where I catch my content, Garrett.
So you watch the full games on VolleyMetrics?
Not really the whole game, because you just throw up a filter and just hit that F key.
Okay, get me. I need that. Like, send me that. If you have a VolleyMetrics login, comment down below. I need it.
Do you have like the full subscription for VolleyMetrics? Like, we don't get the women's side, so that's like kind of sucks for us. I can't watch the women's indoor, but I can watch the men's.
Four logins through friends of the show, so I can log into the women's side, the men's side, and then both genders for the beach. So
that's absolute nonsense that you have 4 logins.
Comment, like, subscribe, and comment your women's VolleyMetrics login for me, so I can watch our women's VNL, please.
Thank you, Lucas. Josh, how about you share the love, dude? Hello, like.
Garrett, you won't even watch a 10-minute clip on YouTube. You think you're going to log in and go down the rabbit hole that is Volleymetrics? You can get lost in that thing.
Listen, Pierce is throwing out shade that I don't watch the YouTube clips, and that's just pure falsehood. I do watch those. I mean, I do research for this show, hours and not hours, tens of minutes of research for this show. I mean, that's all I have really time for, and I don't have the accounts, man. Give me the accounts, Josh. Share the love, dude. Okay, anyways, wow. What a digression. Okay, who's next?
I can go. I am jumping over to our men's indoor team and giving the star of the week to our new VNL libero, Justin Liu. I think that he took a really big step forward at his age to come in and be the libero and start for this team. And I think he has a good career ahead of him. But I haven't watched the Germany game yet, but I did watch the highlights of the pre-game that we played against France on Friday, and he played really well. Held on.
And that's a first, Garrett. That's a player of the week for an exhibition game that he saw snippets on Instagram for. Player of the week, Justin.
Dude, it's better than player of the week for a practice. I mean, we've had that before. So, accepted.
Hey, at least it was an international practice game.
Nolan, man, it's a good pick because I did watch his games and he played well, but you gotta watch the games.
I'm going to watch the game.
Pick a player of the week. You just see results. You're like, oh, they played well. You gotta see how they played. What if
he did? That game was earlier this week.
25-24, he gets ace. I don't think he's the player that he didn't. But what if? He can't be the player of the week then.
5 minutes ago, you just told us to watch the highlights, and now I watch the highlights, and you're telling me to watch the game?
No, it's an interesting tact by Pierce because we'll see who his player of the week is. It's likely conveniently from a game that he watched. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But interesting that didn't come up last time you guys on the show. Nobody was questioning anybody for any picks for not watching the games.
I'm really on the edge of my seat. He might pick himself, Garrett. He won the OVA this week, so I don't know if he's going to pick himself. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, but the first game I had was against a dad and a 5-year-old. So, and that's not a joke. Sorry, grade 5. Grade 5.
5-year-old.
Yeah, hold on. That's the level we're talking about here, Josh, at the OVA?
Wow.
He played another Team Canada in the finals.
Yeah.
So
we won, but yeah.
So
who's your partner?
You hit 21 straight skyballs.
Who are you playing with, Pierce?
5. Robbie Kemp. Kemp Classic guy. Yeah. You ever heard of the Kemp Classic? It's like the Van Open of Ontario.
No. Should I have?
Oh, wow. Cricket. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been out of it. I guess I've been out of it long enough to not know what that is.
To not know what a Kemp Classic is? Yeah. Comment below if you know what a Kemp Classic is.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be like the Van Open of Ontario because the Van Open's been around for a number of years, and I never heard of the Kemp Classic when I was playing.
Well, it was a beauty move by him from the whole COVID regulations. So
yeah, they call it Classic, Garrett. It can't be more than 3 years old.
Yeah, so it's a Kemp
up
and coming.
Current.
Yeah, well,
it's a current
anymore.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a Kemp.
It was a 2-year deal. It won't ever probably happen again. It's done.
So his dad.
Just the memories.
Wait, so his dad ran volleyball tournaments, therefore he should be good at volleyball? I mean, I've been skating by. I've been skating by on that for years.
No, but for my athletic league, I'm more in Brie King because I did watch all 3 games, and I think they do have a bunch of studs on the pins and in the middles, and they have a great lib. But I mean, I watched her play, and she was just slinging, and she was dumping at the right time. She was dumping aggressively. She has a good serve. She's a little undersized, but she got some good blocks. So I think overall, I think she's the reason kind of why they had those 2 wins. So.
Brie King, congrats. I mean, and a well-researched player of the week. I will say, though, that both Pierce and Nolan misnamed the actual segment of the show, Josh. We had Athlete of the Week and Star of the Week, which it is neither of those things. It is the Player of the Week. But yeah, Brie King, I mean, the setter, right? She's the setter for Team Canada?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, well-researched and well-made point. We have no rebuttals. Congrats to her. So, I mean, she's obviously slinging in the 2 wins they had.
Yep, she was.
She is.
Great. I mean, see this we have nothing interesting to discuss when somebody just brings a well thought out, well-meaned player of the week, Josh.
So wait, are you happy about that, or you're unhappy about that?
I don't know how to feel. It's a kind of a first. Like normally people are surprised, taken aback, don't know what to do, and we can just chirp each other. But that's like, I don't know. Should we chirp?
I mean, I could put a controversial one out there if you want, but
no. I mean, no. Own it. Take the win. And let's move on to really everybody's favorite segment of the week, and it's Clowns of the Week. All right. So who wants to go first? Anybody got a really nice one to get us going?
I would love to.
Let's go then.
I'm going. Anyone who is a fan of volleyball in Canada, you're a clown this week because of the lack of energy that's in Ottawa right now at the VNL. It's honestly pathetic, and it's probably the reason we got dusted in that 3-0. Anyone can attest to like playing in another team's gym that's fully loaded, screaming fans. You know, maybe a couple of them had too many beers and they're just giving it to the away team. The fans that were there, I didn't hear them. And it was just silent and pretty empty in a pretty big arena. And it's just disappointing for Volleyball Canada for like how much we want to grow the game and that we can't even get. In Ottawa, they have big clubs there. They have Mavs, they have Fusion. That's like a couple thousand kids and their families that should be at these games. And they're just not. It was just pretty crazy.
So you named the Clown of the Week everybody who's a fan of volleyball who was not in Ottawa at the games this week. So that's a lot of people. So is the expectation, because I'm with you on a lot of things, but is the expectation that people get up and fly to Ottawa to go see these games?
No, Canada's big. I get that. But it doesn't matter where it's been in Canada. It's been in Edmonton before. It's been in Toronto. Like it doesn't matter where it's been. So this is kind of like for forever it's been like this. So I'm just going, everyone gets the Clown of the Week because they didn't do it in the past.
Yeah, and I'll fully support that, and I'll wear it as a fan of volleyball who's only been to, I think, 2 of them and missed ones where I could have gone. So that's absolutely true. I mean, if we're going to be quote-unquote volleyball people, how are we not showing up to the volleyball events that are hosted in Canada? We complain about how little we get, yet we don't show up in force when we do get them. I mean, I support it fully.
On board.
You just nodding, Josh? Like, what the heck? At least Nolan said on board.
Well, did that really add to this?
No, but at least he said something. You're just nodding.
It's been said. No, it's been said.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I think the point about the clubs, too, like, I mean, what? We have organizations. Like, what about leagues? Like, hey, here's a discount. Here's tickets. Here's the thing. Like, let's get everybody out there. Like, have a fun time. Watch some volleyball. Be together. Yell. Like, Canadians chirp each other in university sport relentlessly, like offside. But when another country comes into our house, we can't all get on board for that? Gosh.
That's a great point, though. Like, maybe that's on Volleyball Canada. There's 2 universities in Ottawa. You give them student deals. A lot of students live in campus in the summer. Be like, hey, students get in for free. There's drinks available. There's a student section now. It's right behind the opposing bench. And their only job is to give it to them.
Those are the people that are the most ruthless, too, are the non-volleyball players.
You're playing Germany. You invite all the ones that are taking German at U Ottawa, and they chirp them in their own language.
Oh, yeah. It's part of the class. It's the German class field trip is to that game. You've got to go and chirp them in German, and you get a bonus mark if you get a reaction out of them in German.
Yes.
You get them kicked out, you get 100 in the class.
I mean, that's an easy an immediate synergy right there. I mean, how are we missing that? Who are the most ruthless fans in the country? It's university kids just chirping each other when they're drunk. Let's pack the house with those guys right behind the bench. How do we organize the stadium so that we rope off the fan section literally like inches away from the back of their bench? Come on. Great point. Yeah. I'm all about that. Anybody hosting an event out there, listen and listen well. Like, take notes. We've got to do that.
The Sharp Cut Splash Zone. It's coming to a venue near you.
The Sharp Cut Splash. We'll sponsor for free, though. We don't have it in the budget. But the Sharp Cut Splash Zone, Josh.
Yeah.
I'll be in the middle of it, hammered, just chirping hard. If you tell me some German, I'll yell it. I don't even know if it's not correct. We're good.
That's true.
All right. I think, hey, it's a great, hey, you know what, Pierce? You're performing well this week. I mean, I think great Clown of the Week. great player of the week, even though you called it athlete of the week. All right, who's next?
I can go. I got mine. Mine, unfortunately, is you guys.
What?
For scraping the bottom of the barrel and having to pull Pierce and I back on here. You didn't have anyone else to do this podcast, and you had to come right back down to the people that got you only 69 views.
That was a high number.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, wow, Josh.
This one's gonna get 100. I can feel it.
Great.
I'm gonna get more.
Guy comes on the show, excited to be on the show. Really, he was excited because he's gonna chirp us with clowns of the week, Josh. What the hell?
This is the moment he's been waiting for. I hope he stays on. I hope he doesn't log off now that he's.
Yeah, like how are we gonna let that fly? What the heck, man? Double clown of the week to the hosts of the show.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I'll take clown of the week for one reason, is that I really never help out with guests. I edit the show, I upload them to YouTube, I do some stuff, but I really have been terrible with guests. So I'll wear that. But Josh does get the guests. So that maybe's got to hurt, Josh. Are you feeling okay after that?
Well, no, Gary.
No, Nolan, you're gonna make me run so many suicides tomorrow.
We're not even gonna set up a net tomorrow, Pierce.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I appreciate it. And I have a blast when I come on here. But it had to be done.
But you didn't want to be on. Maybe you were our first pick. What do you mean scraping the bottom of the barrel? Maybe it was the top choice. Wouldn't you feel bad if you asked Josh who was the first pick and it was you?
Would I feel bad? Probably, yeah.
Okay, Josh, who was the first pick?
I don't know if I want to say, Garrett, because I would like to get them on the show eventually, but they did decline
so not
tonight.
me.
Okay, so it was not Nolan.
It was not Nolan.
Okay, now let's explore this. How far down the list was Nolan Langley?
Third.
Okay.
That's not the worst we've had on the show. No, I mean
we've hit double digits before.
We've gotten as high as 12, I think, asked before somebody responds. So, I mean, hey, if we're getting clown of the week for third, what, we got to deliver on our first ask every time, Nolan?
Top two.
Well, now that I know where Pierce is staying for the summer, maybe we'll ask his roommate and we can get Nolan bumped out, but Pierce can come back for a third time.
Yeah, get me out of here. Bring that guy back.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll go next, Josh. I've never done this before, but I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to call out a competitor, Josh. And I'm calling out 5-1 Volleyball. How dare you call yourself the best podcast to follow volleyball, men's indoor volleyball, and you never reach out to Sharp Cuts for a collab? You got all these other people on your show. You're not connecting with us. There's no comments. I mean, we can't get a hold of you. What the hell, man? Like, are you kidding me? 5-1 Volleyball. If you're a subscriber, go comment right now. Let them know we will not let this stand, because we are the best volleyball podcast in the world for Canadian, all types of volleyball, specifically Canadian, with a coach and a former player on it. But aside from that, we are the best. So yes. 5-1, you can go do some stuff. Okay, so there's my call out. It's a throwdown, Josh.
Yeah, we have to be up there. I mean, he takes it pretty seriously with like the European followers and his list and stuff. Like he gets into it, but I mean, we're serving Canada, Garrett. That's our main market here.
No, we're serving everybody.
We're worldwide
in Canada.
But just because he can name more Polish outside hitters who do something, like he's got his weird list. I don't know. He's
yeah. You think you're better than us, 5-1 Volleyball, because you do prep and research and you like write stuff about indoor volleyball? Brutal. Okay, where's our call out? Where's our invite? Nowhere to be found. I'm bitter.
I couldn't tell. Yeah.
You guys follow 5-1 Volleyball?
I don't.
Okay, good.
It's actually the first time I've heard of it, honestly.
That's a nice chirp. I will take that. Thank you, Nolan. That's it. That's right. Nobody's even heard of your channel.
The only one I've heard about is this one, because it's the best one in the world.
who have two clowns for the hosts, apparently.
Exactly. You got it. You're on
Some
board.
weird backhanded, like, compliment, insult, compliment.
You're giving us mixed emotions here, Nolan. I don't know how we're supposed to feel. Josh is getting negged hard right now. I'm not sure how you feel. Okay. So that's my clown of the week. 5-1 VB. I mean, I listened into a bit, and the first line is the world's best something. Volleyball. I didn't listen after that because I was angry. Josh, over to you. Nobody's okay.
No, I guess that's a great response.
I mean, it's a valid reason.
Yes, I will take that validation and run with it. Thank you. Josh, are you going to back me up on that?
Garrett, I'm 100% with you.
Let's go, Josh.
Yeah. You came in with facts. There were some feelings involved, but mostly facts. And yeah, you can't really argue facts.
Josh, I'm feeling the strongest emotions towards you that I've ever felt after you had my back on this one. So let's throw it over to you before things get awkward. And why don't you give us your clown? It better not be me. If it's me, I'm going to be so upset right now.
No, Garrett, this one upsets me, and it's funny because it affects me in no way at all. But Garrett, did you know that Team Ontario, they have a trials for their Canada Games team, and on the women's side, guess how many teams they had attend their trials? You win, you get to go to Canada Games. Women's volleyball, Garrett, it's a U21 event. Maybe there's some NCAA girls, maybe there's some provincial team girls. There should be dozens upon dozens. This event should be sold out, Garrett. Guess how many teams fought for a chance to go to Canada Games?
I feel like a low number. I don't want to.
Not quite 2, Nolan, but 4. 4 girls teams signed up for a chance to go to Canada Games. Garrett, this is a multi-sport games. It's like a mini Olympics. It's a U21 event. Maybe there's going to be scouts there. Maybe you win Canada Games. You can email UCLA and be like, hey, you guys have Leah Monkhouse? She finished second at Canada Games. I won my cycle. Because there's been a lot of good athletes go through Canada Games, Garrett. And these athletes, they're not interested. They're busy. I don't know what they're doing. And this isn't a slight on Sophie and Emma. You've worked with Emma before, Garrett. Like, good for them. Congratulations for winning, like going to a major games. But the fact that there are 4 female beach teams who want to go to this event, Garrett, is embarrassing at best.
Okay. I love the heat, Josh. Keep it coming. Don't let me derail you here. I love it.
And 2 of the teams in the event are like 16U, Garrett. So that means I was rooting for them because if they won this time, they'd still be age eligible in 4 years to go to the next one. That's how weird this draw was.
Great. Who is the clown here?
I don't know. Someone's got to take the fall for this, Garrett. The registration list is the clown. Is it the coach? I don't know. Is it Team Ontario? I don't know. Someone's got to take the fall for this, but I know it's not the men's next gen coach. I'm not taking the fall for this. But as an observer, there's no other way to put it. This is embarrassing at best that there are 4 women's teams who want to go to Canada Games.
You could point out though at the men's trials there was only 2-3 teams that were really going to qualify. Like it wasn't
10 registered for a chance at the title, Garrett.
Yeah, but it was like the equivalent of like that dad and his kid with some of them that registered for my event. Like they registered and they were there, but yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, like I'm lost, Josh. You've just expressed anger, which I like, respect. Keep it coming. But
the clown is Team Canada or Team Ontario trials. That's the clown, Garrett. Do you want me to call a person out? Is that it? Has to be a person?
No, I don't need that. But it's their fault that nobody signed up to their event.
Did they recruit? Did they flyer the parking lot? Did they email anybody? Did they call coaches? Did they do anything, Garrett? You're telling me there's only 4 women's teams under U21 in the province of Ontario?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the indication, right? Like, how many were there?
Team Ontario has athletes. U of T has a club. Northern Elite has a club. Leaside has kids. Phoenix has kids. Titans has kids. Those are just clubs who use Ashbridges Bay, Garrett. That doesn't include London, Windsor, Ottawa, all these volleyball hotbeds. Like, 8 girls want to go to Canada Games. 8.
Yeah, and I mean, it's made even more disrespectful that the tournament, the Canada Games, are in Niagara. They are down the highway. They are not that far away. They want to play in front of
family and friends at a major games where maybe Garrett May is announcing. Maybe there's like 100 people in the stands. Like it's going to be a fun event.
It's not even
John,
Go ahead.
I know the answer why there was only 4 teams. It's because Team Ontario took every single eligible athlete around that age and put them on the indoor team. There's like 150
That's true.
on the women's and the men's program. It's like everyone out like Team Ontario, everyone at my age. Garrett, your age, like there'd be like 12 to 14 guys. There was one team, and they would send them. 150, I think was the number.
Wait, what?
You're on Team Ontario, 150. Not like the camp to try out.
So like 75 per gender.
No. This is each.
Wait, what? So there's 300 people on Team Ontario right now indoor? No. This is inconceivable. I don't get it. You've thrown out some big numbers here, Pierce, because this is Clown of the Week worthy, and nobody mentioned this. There's 150 people on Team Ontario for under 21. That's the entire club circuit.
It's it's a lot. It's over 100, and I'm pretty sure it's closer to 150 than it is 100.
So, like, who's going to Canada
right
games for them?
I wish viewers could see Nolan's face reacting to this list right now, because it's amazing.
The list just goes on.
Garrett, there's about 12 names per page, and not even joking, on the post, there's 12 pages for the women and 10 pages for the men. So, like, everybody made the provincial team.
Okay,
and
that doesn't include a bit.
That doesn't include the regional team. That doesn't include Tall Maples. That's just Team Ontario indoor women and Team Ontario indoor men. Like, you have to scroll. There's pages of these kids.
No wonder there wasn't anyone at these trials, because they're not allowed to. They're already with Team Ontario. They can't go to these. They're committed to this.
Unbelievable. What?
How many colors do we have to give out? I thought it was just Team Ontario red and Team Ontario black.
Dude. It used to just be Team Ontario. It used to just be, you were one team, we have the best athletes, and if you're not, you're cut, you suck. Goodbye.
Oh, this is really Team Ontario, because it's every eligible player in Ontario that is on the team. So it's Team Ontario.
For Ontario.
My God. What? I don't think, like, my brain is struggling to comprehend this. How is this possible? Are they all paying? Is it a money grab? Like, do they all pay a couple grand to contribute? Or is there some sort of funding? Do they go stay somewhere? Like, is there a camp? How does this make any sense? A kid from Ottawa makes Team Ontario, and they're like 98 on the list of 100. And a person from Windsor, like 8-9 hour drive away from each other. Where are they going? They're meeting somewhere?
Business decision wise, it's kind of smart by them, because they're getting money from each of these kids. And then each of the kids is like, oh my God, I'm on Team Ontario. They're ecstatic. They're having a great time. But then Team Ontario has all this extra money now for really not doing that much extra work.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a brilliant maneuver if that is the case. Which, I mean, I fully support the gutty grabbing money and make it work. I mean, great. But there's no justification that could make any sense other than money for having that big a like, who's going to the tournament?
How many coaches are you gonna? You're scraping
one coach. One coach.
Coaches.
One coach.
100 players. One coach.
They don't even need to go anywhere for a tournament. They can just have their own tournament.
That's like 12 teams.
Oh my God.
Guys.
Collective Clown of the Week between the four of us.
I'm kind of like, I feel like I should be on the show more. I've done more research than like anyone.
Yeah, like don't.
I have all these facts coming in. Like,
yeah, like don't look too closely at it, Pierce, because like we've had people mention they're going to start their own shows before, but we don't need that.
No, I like you guys too much. I'm just saying I would like to be back more. I think.
Oh, great. Well, if you're going to bring this level of research, yes, yeah. Absolutely. Oh my God.
Wow.
So you'd rather be 98th on the indoor list than go to Canada Games Beach as what one athlete decided?
Yes.
Or do they must not know their ranking. They must not know where they stack up.
Or their skill level.
And the issue with this is they're not going to get any of the kids that get cut and be like, oh, I'm going to prove them wrong, because no one got cut. So there's not going to be any of those kids that are like, oh, I'm going to grind now. I'm going to I'm going to work out. I'm going to get better this summer. It's like, no, they all just made it. So they're all like, oh, I'm good.
Kid number 114 does not have a chip on their shoulder. And it's not going to help them out in the long run.
Yeah,
you need a chip.
So what's the mechanics of this? They have a tryout, like.
No, you just like applied to be on the team, and then they selected you.
That seems like what it was. Yeah, you send an application, you make the team.
So there's a group of people who sat in a room and looked at over 100 applications, like. Right?
Do you think they got tired and just started saying, "You're on the team. You're on the team"? Like,
maybe they just Maybe they just didn't cut anyone. Maybe that was just everyone that applied.
Like, that's a list. They didn't want to go through all the applications, so they were like,
I don't
screw
know.
it. Wow. I am
If you
absolutely
made the list
shocked.
and you're listening, let us know how you made the list because we want to know.
Yeah, reach out. Come on
Tell
the
me
show.
what you
We'll
did.
have you.
Tell us
We've
what
already
you
heard
did to
getting
make
guests
this
is
team.
difficult.
Yeah, I'm the P2 on Team Ontario Maroon 5. Like, what team number are they on? It can't just be black and red anymore, Garrett.
So does Ontario have like 6 teams in the Canada Games then? Is that what they get to host, so they got like the extra 4 berths? Wow. Okay. I mean, what a great. I mean, we should have started with that because more than half people are not listening at this point. So most people didn't hear that. So if you're listening all the way to the end, kudos to you. You really why we do this show. Comment down below. If you're listening and you never go to YouTube and don't comment, I mean, text us. I mean, you probably know us. So
You gotta clip it at the start of the episode. Be like, you gotta stay around. There's some really cool stuff happening at the end. And then, what they're gonna do is they're not gonna stay around. They're just gonna fast forward to that and then miss over everything else. But
but then they'll see how cool that last segment was, and they'll be like, well, the rest of the episode must have been like this too. So then they're gonna go back and listen to the start.
yeah. So
it'll
if
be like
we
a
had
movie where you
budget,
have to like watch the end of the movie first, and then
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I respect the ideas, guys. If we had budget, I think we'd hire you, Pierce. You're bringing a lot to the show. But we don't have budget, and editing the show is a challenge.
If there's opportunity to grow in the company, I can start off on an internship.
There is not.
But
There's absolutely. I mean, there's no room for growth. Now, could Josh leverage some extra treatment in the national team situation for getting?
I don't need that.
Pierce
I don't mean like physical
He's
treatment.
He's going to set up nets, Garrett. He's going to take equipment back to the shed. He's not going to skip out on that stuff. You know?
No, but if he wanted to, we could arrange it, Pierce.
I don't need that.
Okay. Wow. Well, you know what, you guys? What a couple of class acts you are. So, I mean, we're at the end of the show, and I mean, it's been a blast. We had more stuff, so I mean, we may just have to have you on again, but hopefully not right away, because apparently we got called out by Nolan for like having you guys on too close together. So I mean,
just like have a segment that you think Pierce and I would, be good at talking about, and then say, hey, like I want them back on.
We did. It was this Team Ontario thing, and we didn't know it. Okay, so I mean, here we are. You guys have been on before. How did you think it went compared to the first episode? How did we perform this one compared to the last one?
I think we made it flow a bit better. We're bouncing off each other a bit better than last time.
Okay.
That's all you have, Nolan?
Yeah, like.
I was gonna let you bounce off of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Clearly,
Ironic comment.
Wasn't very. I mean, I came in the episode hot. I thought I was great. I woke up this morning. I was pissing excellence. It was a great time for me. But anyone who got that reference, love you. Go watch that movie again. If you didn't, I'm not going to tell you the movie. But yeah, I had a great time today, and I thought the dynamic was great.
Okay, so Nolan thought our flow was good, and Pierce mentioned he was pissing excellence, so his flow was obviously good. So it seems like our flow was generally good, and I'd agree. So thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you for listening. Josh, you got anything you want to say to the people?
If anyone's on the fence of where to go to university, Garrett, I think they should be a Windsor Lancer, because if you thought this show was good, imagine what a bus conversation from Windsor to Queens would be like with these two guys.
Yes.
We gotta leave your viewers with this one. Would you rather fight an eagle or an ostrich? That's a University of Windsor classic right there. And if you ever want to go to Windsor, you gotta be able to answer that question. Would you rather fight an eagle or would you rather fight an ostrich? Let us know in the comment section. This is death.
I'll be looking at these comments. I'll be waiting for them.
Josh, no, we got to cut the show. These guys are getting way too comfortable on this show. They're segments leave the viewers with this. What do you think this is? Like, wow. I mean, it's too pro right now. I'm feeling threatened. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.